Just look at what's going on in Venezuela. Maduro, who is what Donald Trump wants to be.
Wow.
He wants to be the kind of guy that doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you get to stay in power. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. And Maduro is staying in power by blowing up the rule of law in Venezuela and co-opting the military for his political purposes. That's what Donald Trump is capable of, and that is not American. That is not American in any shape or form.
¡Gracias, Dios! ¡Viva Venezuela, mi madre mía! ¡Vecinos, defiéndense que somos libres! Mi gente libre, libre. Agarraron a Maduro, se fueron ya. ¡Qué felicidad, Dios! ¡Gracias! Voy a ir para Los Roques, voy a ir para Margarita, voy a ir para mi tierra bella, Dios mío, Venezuela, coño.
I was briefed this morning on the U.S. military capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. And I want to say that unilaterally attacking a sovereign nation is an act of war and a violation of federal and international law, you guys. You need to understand, okay? If it's a fascist, we go in. But if it's the prestigious socialist ideology, it's okay if a leader manages to oppress his people. It's okay if he impoverishes his nation. It's okay if he commits crimes against humanity. It's not okay if someone else does that to the leader. It's not okay if there's a big fish in the sea. The big fishes in the sea need to fuck off and allow the leader to keep oppressing, subjugating, and milking his people of all the cash they see, because we're socialists and collectivists, and us communists have to stay together. Oh, by the way, fun fact, the mayor of New York City also wants to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, which is wanted by the International Criminal Court. Do you know who else is wanted by the International Criminal Court? That's right. El Presidente of Venezuela for alleged human rights abuses. By the way, the funniest thing that came out of this is that in New York you had actual communists protesting, American communists, and they were visited by actual Venezuelans that also happened to live in New York, and they were like, what the fuck are you cretins doing? Like, we wish we had the time machine just to stuff you and make you live under the regime of the people that you are championing.
I'm Venezuelan, and let me tell you something. This is the happiest day of my life. They have massacred us, intimidated us, humiliated us. And today we finally recover hope. It's been 25 years of dictatorship. How can you defend that? They have forced more than 8 million Venezuelans to flee the country, including me. And I'm not going to let anyone to tell me that this is not good for us. This is the best thing that could happen to Venezuela. This is what all Venezuelans want.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro lashed out at the U.S. after President Barack Obama declared Venezuela a national security threat and signed an executive order approving new sanctions against the country. In a fiery 2-hour speech, Maduro called it proof that Washington wants to topple his government.
President Obama will be remembered in the future for this decision and his aggression against the Venezuelan people, the noble people, because the people of Venezuela are a peaceful people. President Obama, you don't have the right to attack, nor to declare that Venezuela is a threat to the people of the United States. You are the threat to the people of the United States.
Obama's executive order targets 7 Venezuelan government officials for alleged human rights abuses relating to the crackdown of anti-government protests last year and the recent arrest of high-profile opposition politicians. All of them would be barred from the U.S. and also have their properties and assets there seized. But at Monday's speech, Maduro called these officials heroes and even promoted one of them to become Interior Minister. This cements Venezuela as Washington's main adversary in Latin America, now that relations with Cuba are improving. In recent months, Maduro has accused the U.S. of trying to overthrow his government. Last week, the Venezuelan president ordered the U.S. embassy to cut its staff to 17 from 100 within 15 days. Maduro also imposed a visa requirement for U.S. tourists to register when entering Venezuela. With the country's inflation rate the highest in the world and widespread shortages of goods common, Washington says Caracas is using the U.S. as a scapegoat.
Clearly, we've also seen a pattern over the past several months of President Maduro accusing the United States of being involved in transgressions that we have no involvement in, that are frankly outrageous and distract from the problems they have in their own country. So in that regard, certainly we've been dealing with an uptick in that in recent months.
Belligerent madman sitting on the throne of a dying empire, lashing out in every direction. Well, I think he just destroyed Venezuelan's empire, right? Like, the dying empire still has a big cock, Hassan. Still has a big cock to smash communism, right? Smash fascism, isn't that what you'd like? Oh, goodness gracious. The thing is, though, even if you're on Team Venezuela, and you literally enjoyed seeing Maduro, like, dominate his fucking people. And, like, starving them and driving trucks over protesters. And that's like, yes, that's the type of society that I want. Even if you're that individual, if you think America is a dying empire, and it managed to successfully perform a military operation that left the entire world jaw-dropped, They literally snatched El Presidente, and just to show how much they pissed on his legacy and how much they piss on communism, they also bombed the tomb of Chavez, right? And to say that's a dying empire, like, my brother in Christ, if a dying empire is capable of doing this, you need to pray, Hassan. You need to find Jesus and pray every day that America doesn't heal. Because then you will get your globalism. Then you will get your world with no border, no nations, and no deportations. And it's going to have a fucking American flag on top of it. No, seriously, they actually bombed the tomb of Chavez. That didn't have any strategic military importance or whatever. And the funny thing is, people are discussing, was this planned or was it the pilot that just wanted to press the button for the lulz? I like to go with the story that it was just the pilot. Like, he was already flying over there. And he said, okay, what happens if I do this? I'm going to get chewed up. I've been chewed up before. Let me just launch it. And then he fucking launched it. The reason that America is getting away with this, by the way, is first of all, like, what is the point in being the world hegemon if you can't get away with it? Like, why would nations even try to be the world hegemon if they can't get away with snatching a leader every now and then? But the actual moral reason, if you want to talk about morality, let's take into account that the Democrats didn't consider Maduro to be a legitimate president. The Republicans didn't consider that. The European Union didn't consider him to be a legitimate president. The United Kingdom didn't consider him to be a legitimate president. And you could see how popular he was at the moment he is snatched. Almost every single Venezuelan that I know is cheering. Like, I've been looking this morning for a video that I saw last night. I'm really pissed off that I didn't save it. But it has this lady with a history of Trump derangement syndrome. Like, she's a Venezuelan living in the United States. She's a Democrat, hates Trump. And she makes this post saying, look, all of us, every single Venezuelan right now is cheering. Every single one is cheering. I hate Donald Trump, but sometimes it takes a bigger devil to fight our devil. And so please shut the fuck up. Let Donald Trump do what he needs to do. And when he finishes, then we can go back on hating him. But like right now, she is very, very happy and excited. And so this is pretty much what's happening. Again, like, the Venezuelan president was wanted by the ICC. He was wanted by the United States. They had a $50 million bounty on his head. And the way that the special military operation was conducted, snatching one man, no boots on the ground, no bombing of civilian centers, just clean operation. And I see like the same people that were shilling for the Russians and they were cheering that, oh my goodness, you know, finally the Russians are pushing against the global homo from Kiev and now they're being upset that this is happening here. Makes you wonder if you find such a person, who's paying them? And why do they have these interesting opinions all of a sudden? I will probably make another video, like, highlighting some of these people that are bending themselves over like a pretzel based on what they said previously to confirm with what they're saying now. But a lot of people are very butthurt that this happened. And I find this to be extremely fascinating, very interesting. But anyway, all in all, like, my personal take as an anti-communist, I think the world has become a better place. I think that even the Venezuelans are going to notice better living conditions. Like, now that the restrictions are going to be removed, then I guess the United States stole a country. Like, people in the US went to bed, they weren't at war, they woke up, still not at war, but they're probably going to get some Nuremberg type of trial either by next Tuesday or by next Friday. So, yeah, I guess if you're an American, let me know what you think about this. If you're Venezuelan, let me know what you think about this. And I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.